We are 72 hours away from the Patriots heading down to Miami and taking on the Dolphins. And before then, the Pats, they got impact news involving their offense and defense in a positive way, and it involves the Dolphins' injuries. Welcome into Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper, and I thought I'd give you guys the injury report as of Wednesday when it came out, and you could see the Dolphins have a ton of injuries, and we'll break all those down. For the Patriots, we did see Harold Landry, we did see Morgan Moses, Kayshon Boutte was also shown up on the injury report as limited, but the main thing I want to focus on is kind of Harold Landry and Morgan Moses as they did not practice. I kind of expect it might be. This is total speculation, as him and Morgan Moses both have a foot injury. Kind of expect them to maybe get a rest day. We'll find out later today with that injury report. But before we get into the Dolphins' injuries, we are getting our asses kicked in the sub battle with Dolphins Today. Nick Roloff is going to be talking his trash all throughout the entire week up until Sunday's game when we go up against him. So I want to prove him wrong. I want to prove that we are the better AFC East team. So we got to bump those numbers up. If you want free Patriots content, breaking down everything, we're going to have a full preview later this week. Hit that sub button right now. So the injuries on the offense that I kind of want to focus on are specifically on the offensive line. And we see James Daniels with a pec injury who was placed on IR, and also Austin Jackson with a toe injury. Barry Jackson, he works for the Miami Herald. He said this about the Dolphins' injuries. They expect to be without guard James Daniels for about a month and are not counting on having right tackle Austin Jackson available for Sunday's home game against New England. McDaniel said Jackson hasn't been ruled out for Sunday, but he is preparing as if Larry Borom, I think that's right, will start at right tackle. McDaniel said Jackson's injured toe is not broken, but the team isn't sure how long he will be out, and he did not practice on Wednesday. And this is talking about James Daniels. It's only one game into his Dolphins tenure. He came over from Pittsburgh. He's also played with Chicago, and he's a solid guard. But when you lose him one game, you sign him to be one of your starters, that is going to hurt this team significantly. And then when you look at the Dolphins' offensive line chart, you see Austin Jackson there with the injury, and James Daniels, since he was placed on IR, they do not have him in there. So the rookie, Jova Savaiinaea, is going to play left guard, but you have Keon Smith at right guard. But also, you see that name right there in the back, number 69? Yeah, that's true. Mr. Cole Strange. And we know all about Cole Strange. He was with the Patriots for a couple years, first-round pick, and the Patriots, we cut him. Of course, we got rid of him, and unfortunately, he wasn't up to par, up to standards, and there was a reason why we cut him. We saw in the last preseason game, he tried to play and let the Giants get right through the line of scrimmage. It was terrible. And this happened just a couple days ago. It was Tom Pelissero. He tweeted it out that they were signing him off Cleveland's practice squad. Yeah, he was with Cleveland for a little bit, but Miami, with them dealing all of their injuries, they had to bring in the Patriots' former first-round pick, who could be in uniform on Sunday after only practicing for a couple days. And they did ask Mike McDaniel, like, hey, did you sign Cole Strange because he might know the Patriots system? And, of course, he said no. He said, no, of course not, but I have a feeling that is just a gigantic lie, and they're trying to get as much as possible to keep this streak going. Now, for the Patriots, I kind of give them an advantage with just over the Dolphins, especially with their defensive line compared to their offensive line. You're going to be playing against most of the second-string offensive line. And then when you have Cole Strange, who's probably going to see a couple reps, oh, it's going to be bad. But right now, Keon Smith is going to be lined up at that guard spot. And we saw him a little bit against Indy because those injuries happened earlier in the game. And the PFF grades, I mean, they weren't terrible. They weren't good. 52 overall. Your pass blocking grade was 59.6. Your run blocking grade was absolutely terrible. One pressure as a guard, no penalties, which is a good thing. But this is a perfect opportunity for the defensive line. We saw last week against Geno Smith how they were getting pressure to him nonstop. But Geno Smith was lighting them up in the secondary because the secondary was a little bit rough. But if this offensive line is even more depleted than what we saw for the Raiders, they're not going to have a run game, and you're going to have to pass the ball. And Tua did not look good. And the Patriots defense is swarming. You see right there, they were blitzing a ton. I want them to dial back a little bit of the blitz with how bad the offensive line is, because you can get Milton Williams and you can get Harold Landry in there. Sack rate was on fire. Pressure rate, one of the top 10 in the NFL. it was a really, really good one. Positive note from Sunday's loss. I just want you to make Tua's life an absolute living hell on Sunday. I want to get to the quarterback, hit him as hard as you can, make him scared, because we know how much Tua has lit up the Patriots in the past. The stats, they don't lie. 69% completion percentage. He's thrown for over 1,600 yards. The touchdown to interception ratio is 11-4. And the worst stat of them all, he has never lost to the Patriots, ever. He's played 7 games against them since 2020, and he has never lost to them. So I want to make Tua's life a living hell. Get to the quarterback. Make him scared. He was good. Not good. He was not good under pressure in the slightest, and he was not good when he was kept clean. But I say dial back these blitzes. What you saw a ton during Sunday's game, solely because you see Harold Landry and Milton Williams, what they did on Sunday. Those guys are going to pressure the quarterback every single time. And you saw 23% pressure rate from Milton Williams, 25% pressure rate from Harold Landry. Landry had 2.5 sacks. He leads the NFL in sacks right now. 7 pressures from each of these guys. These two are going to be the key factors of Sunday's game against the Dolphins. And I do not want to see Milton Williams dropping back into coverage. I'll say it over and over and over again. But if you don't have to blitz, you do not have to blitz with these two guys attacking a weak offensive line. So I think it's going to be working out for the New England Patriots, and I think they have a little bit of the advantage. I want you guys to predict the sack total on Sunday for me. I'm going to set it at 3.5 sacks. What do you guys think? Go down in the comments section, type more or type less for what you think the sack total is going to be for Sunday. We're going to break down some of the Dolphins' injuries on the defense, but first, I got to tell you about our sponsor of today's show, and that is Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in. Prize Picks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Is Stephon Diggs going to go off this weekend? I think so. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. I made a lineup for this weekend's game, but first, I got to tell you about the max discount for Travis Kelce. The more only needs 1 yard. And then we go to New England against Miami. I think that they're going to get to the quarterback. Give me the less on Tua Tagovailoa's passing yards with 236.5. And give me the more with Kayshon Boutte. He had a great game last week. He's going to keep that going with a touchdown. You can make a lineup just like that when you download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, now let's go to the defensive injuries for the Miami Dolphins. And you're losing Storm Duck and probably Ethan Bonner for this game. And I just think that you have the opportunity to light this secondary up, just like the defense had the opportunity to light up this offensive line. Last week, Daniel Jones went absolutely off, and Storm Duck was your starter. And now he's out, and you could see his stats. When they targeted him, he led up 4 completions out of 5 yards, a perfect quarterback rating of 158.3. And we know all about Jack Jones. Yeah, he didn't do well. Neither did Rasul Douglas or Jason Marshall Jr. You can light up this secondary with how depleted they are. And I'm looking at you, Stephon Diggs. Demario Douglas, man, I do not want to see another negative 2-yard game from you. You are playing in the slot. And Kayshon Boutte, just keep doing your thing, homie. You are going off. I do want to see Efton Chisholm get a chance. And we'll get into Kyle Williams in just a second. But I'm going to look at, specifically Stephon Diggs, because we didn't really see him that much on the offense. I think he only played about 50% of the snaps last week. You're easing him back into it. But he had an average of 3.8 yards of separation in week 1. And I think throughout the weeks, of course of the season, you're going to get him more and more and more involved. And that's what I'd like to see, because we know how fast Stephon Diggs is. There was a play specifically last week where it was on a slant, and Drake May just threw it over the middle, and boom, it was a completed pass. He didn't have any drops. He caught every play. I want to see him getting more involved. But the main guy I want to see more than anybody, because we didn't see him at all last week until it was pretty much garbage time, and that's rookie Kyle Williams. One catch versus the Raiders. He finally had a catch, his first career NFL catch, which came in, I think it was the fourth quarter. But he did not play at all. And it was very, very, very annoying to see because you drafted him to take the top off the defense. We know how fast he is. And he only played 7 snaps. Played 7 snaps against the Raiders. And you needed to see someone get separation. You did not have a deep threat last week because Matt Collins, he only had 1 catch and he was targeted twice. He was supposed to be your deep threat. But then you have Kyle Williams, who was great, or who we know is great, who is a speedster, who can route run, and he just wasn't playing on the field. Like, it is absurd to play him this little. Being your 69th overall pick in the NFL draft, which is a very nice NFL draft pick, but why aren't you playing him? You see rookies all the time, whether they're wide receivers or not. Just let him go. Take the training wheels off. Have him just see what he can do. And the Patriots kind of held him back like, hey, we're going to keep you for a little bit later. Like, no, I don't want to see that. Let him go. Let him free. Let's see what he can do. And with this depleted secondary that we see with the Miami Dolphins, and we saw the Colts go off. Like Michael Pittman went off. They were getting catches and catches and catches. Daniel Jones threw for a ton of yards. It was crazy to see. So if Daniel Jones could do that, so can Drake May. And I want to see Kyle Williams get a lot more opportunities because of this depleted secondary. I'll ask you guys, should the Patriots use Kyle Williams more in week 2? Can we get at least 25 snaps? Not 7. Come on. Type your Y's for yes or type your N for no. We're going to be live on Sunday at noon for the Patriots Dolphins watch party. Hopefully the Patriots get a win. I'm hoping so. And don't miss out. Hit that sub button. And as always, let's go Pats.